Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the FCS Football channel. And today we have, the press conference reaction to Erik Ten Hag's first press conference ahead of his first Manchester United game. That just doesn't make any sense. Ten Hag's press conference ahead of his first ever game as Manchester United manager, or official game, I should say, against Brighton, of course, which is this weekend. If we get all that loaded up, let me close some of this because a lot of this we don't need. There we go. I've kind of just rushed live rather than severing up properly, but that should be okay. That's fingers crossed. And let's get into it. So, if I get my trusty notepad, we've got all the points here. All the major points. So, first up, let's talk Anthony Martial. Now, there was reports yesterday from Laurie Whitwell that Anthony Martial had picked up a hamstring injury during training, and as such, he will miss this Brighton game. Now, Ten Hag has been asked about it, and he has confirmed Anthony Martial is out for this game. Now, obviously, this is a big loss for Manchester United, and it's a big injury and at a bad time for Anthony Martial. He was just getting into his groove, getting some good game time under Erik Ten Hag in pre-season, was playing well, looked like he was going to start this season as Manchester United's number 9, while Cristiano Ronaldo isn't fully fit, as he wasn't able to go on the tour like the rest of our players. However, due to this injury, he is going to miss this opening day at Brighton. Which then kind of asks the question, who are we going to see in this front line? And similarly to the question about Martial, is he available? Ten Hag, don't give anything away. Furthermore, on Cristiano Ronaldo, very much pressured into kind of answering what he thinks about Cristiano Ronaldo. Is he happy about Cristiano Ronaldo? From what he's seen in training, from obviously he was one of the players and kind of the main player that left that Rayo Vallecano game early. He was very defensive on Cristiano Ronaldo, essentially saying, look, Cristiano Ronaldo is a fantastic player. I'm looking forward to working with him. He wasn't the only player that left that Rayo Vallecano game. We've spoken to all the players that have left. We've made it clear it's not acceptable. We don't want it. And it's now about just moving on, looking on for that Brighton game where hopefully we can get the 3 points. Hello, how are we, Munassi, mate? When it comes to the Brighton game, he has spoken about hold on. Let me have some water. I completely lost my train of thought. Right. So on Brighton, he has said he's happy and looking forward to this game. Looking forward to getting started under this season. When asked about top 4, he didn't answer it. So the journalist asked, do you think this squad is good enough to get top 4? And instead of saying yes or no, he said, wow, the aim for Manchester United is to go into every game and win it. So he's not open to saying this, we should be getting top 4. So, which leads me to believe he's got his doubts on whether we can get top 4 and on this squad. Now, he was asked about the squad. He said he needs more signings, as the title suggests. That this was on the question of Anthony Martial and how big of a miss he's going to be. He said, a forward line, we are going to miss Anthony Martial. We need to bring in more players. We need more sides, more depth in that front line. However, he's happy with the midfield despite having not signed a defensive midfielder, and he wants to look to develop this current squad, which to me is just kind of pandering to the squad and in a sense the Glazers. I think it's clear he wants a Frankie de Jong. We've been looking at him all summer long. The fact that we're still looking at him suggests he wants him, but he can't come out and say, look, we want a DM, we want Frankie de Jong, can he? So we kind of just pandering to the audience and to the fans saying, look, we'll have to do what we can with this squad, which is kind of to be expected. However, like I said, he has said he wants more forward line options, but he makes it clear that if we are to sign someone, he doesn't want to sign someone for the sake of signing someone. If you look at Manchester United in the past, and I think particularly in the Louis van Gaal, we would just sign a player because we needed a player rather than getting the right option in. And I think a key example of that is Morgan Schneiderlin. Morgan Schneiderlin was a player we signed from Southampton because we needed and wanted a defensive midfielder. Morgan Schneiderlin was never the right man for that, but we signed him because we needed one, and that's someone we could get done, rather than he is the one that Louis van Gaal wanted, identified, and we signed him because of that. And that's something Erik Ten Hag doesn't want to be part of. He wants to get the right player in, the right profile in, rather than just sign someone for the sake of signing him. And I think that's kind of important because I think not just Morgan Schneider, even in recent years, doesn't look like Donny van de Beek was wanted under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that's another sign where we've just signed him for the sake of signing him rather than we've gone through the process of identifying players, who we want, why we want them, how they fit this team, and then we go buy them. I think another one, Alex Telles, hardly ever played under Ole, and obviously is now just gone off on loan to Sevilla for the season, which is a good move for both Telles and Manchester United, in my opinion. He's not a first choice left back. Tyrell Malacia is better than him. Luke Shaw's obviously better than him. So I'm happy to see Telles move on. But I think what Ten Hag is saying there is bang on. Let's get deals done that we want to get done and need to get done that suits this squad rather than sign a player for the sake of signing them. What is going on? Hopefully that's better. Is that better? I don't know why I keep fucking up. I could close the blinds. That would be a great idea. But I'm not going to do that now. Where have I got another pen from? I'm so baffled. Ignore me. Good news going into this game. Obviously, we know Martial is out, which is obviously the bad news. But the good news is that both Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez are both available and fit to start this Brighton game, which I think does offer us a lot more in terms of lineups going into this game. Now, we don't know if Cristiano Ronaldo is definitely fit. That question was never really asked. He was asked if Ronaldo would start, which he said you'll have to wait and find out. But he was never asked if is Cristiano Ronaldo fit to start, which I think could have been interesting and maybe a better question to ask than a lot of the questions he were asked. But obviously, if we go over to this screen, so that does mean we can see Martinez come into centre back alongside whether it's Harry Maguire or Rafael Varane. I'm not really fussy. We'll keep with Tyrell Malacia and Diego Dalot. Ten Hag was asked about the fullbacks and whether he has made his mind up on the starting fullbacks, and he said no, it's a long season ahead, and until the season started, we don't have our kind of selected starting 11 yet. which for left back I certainly think is true. Let's be real here. Diego Dalot is Manchester United's number one right back. Sorry, that's very, very clear that Dalot is Manchester United's number one option at left back, at right back. Wan-Bissaka, I don't even know if he's second choice, particularly with Ethan Laird having played more minutes in pre-season and having impressed during pre-season as well. But we'll keep Tyrone Malacia in here for now. If Cristiano Ronaldo isn't fit, I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone like Bruno Fernandes move up into that striker role. And we actually see Christian Eriksen move in and play that number 10 role, Bruno up top. Or potentially you could see Bruno move up to one of the flanks and Marcus Rashford go through in the middle. Personally, I would rather keep Marcus on the left and have Bruno and Eriksen through the middle, simply because I think I think Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, neither of them are strikers, but at least Rashford is a winger. Bruno Fernandes isn't a winger. So, they're, in a sense, you're only playing one player out of position. And I'm not really sure which one's better up top, because I don't think Rashford's a good striker at all. Breaking news. Leicester defender Ricardo Pereira has ruptured his Achilles. And he's out for 6 months. My God, Leicester are in trouble this season, aren't they? Leicester are in big, big trouble. But, I mean, just look at this Man United team. I think as a starting 11s go, for this, something like this isn't too bad for this game week. And then to have an option of in the second half, if potentially this isn't going to 100% plan, if Bruno, for example, isn't playing very well, you bring on Cristiano Ronaldo for that second half, where he will definitely be fully fit for at least the second half. I mean, that's a great option to have off the bench, and is an option and a system that could very well work this going into this game. And then what else was said? So he said more signings. Just excited to start. Happy with Ronaldo. Avoided answering top 4, but wants to win every game. Marcel is out. Fullback's not finalised. Doesn't want to speak on Frenkie de Jong. So he was asked directly about Frenkie de Jong during the questions about whether he likes the midfield, he was asked directly about Frenkie de Jong. They said, obviously we know your system relies heavily on a defensive midfielder. We know that the club is reportedly very interested in signing Frenkie de Jong. Are you kind of frustrated that you haven't signed that player? And he said, on Frenkie de Jong, he's a good player. He's basically a good player, but he's not a Manchester United player. He's a Barcelona player for now. And as such, he's not going to speak about him, which is what you expect to hear. Managers hardly ever, unless a deal is basically done, you don't see managers of other teams talking about other players. Like Thomas Tuchel, I think he spoke about Marc Cucurella in his press conference earlier before he was officially announced, because that deal was basically done. But if you asked him 3 days ago when it wasn't basically done, he wouldn't have spoke about him. And I think that's kind of the same here with Frenkie de Jong. The deal's not done yet, so he's not going to speak about him. But when that deal is dotting the I's, crossing the T's done, that's when he will probably speak about him. Which, again, like you expect, that's exactly what you expect from your manager, so that's nothing new. As I said, Ten Hag is adamant that he's happy with the squad, and he's just looking to develop what he's currently got, and that's where he'll have to move. He was very happy with the midfield during pre-season, whether or not he was talking about particularly Fred McTominay, or he was talking about the likes of Donny van der Beek, Christian Eriksen, James Garner, particularly Zidane Iqbal and Charlie Savage, who I think impressed everybody in pre-season this year when they played. We'll have to wait and find out. I imagine he'd probably talk about the latter rather than the original two in McTominay and Fred. However, we will see McTominay and Fred start in midfield. I have Very, very few doubts about that. Or at least we'll see one of the two. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. That's all that was really said in the press conference. And I mean, just on the press conference, I think in general it was it was an average press conference. We didn't kind of learn much. It was kind of just filler questions and filler answers. There was nothing particularly meaty about it. The only thing that we've really learned for certain is that Anthony Martial is definitely not available for this game, and that both Eriksen and Martinez are definitely available to start on Sunday, which is great news, isn't it? Now, that is going to be it from me today. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. Of course, there will be a match preview that will be out at, well, I'm going to start making it pretty much as soon as I finish this stream. So that will either be out at 8 o'clock or at 12 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll just see how long it takes me, sort of thing. And obviously, we'll have the watch along for the Brighton game on Sunday. More details about that will be in the match preview. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.